Zhu King asked Jiang He if she was hungry and she said a little. He told her to wait as a massive birthday cake will also be served. Zhu King's friend handed a mic to him and asked him to sing a song. Jiang He was staring at Mike. What is this? And Zhu King told her it was a microphone and it was not an evil thing. Everyone who was invited was there, so they decided it was time to cut the cake. It was Zhu King's friend's girlfriend's birthday. A girl there was saying she had seen Jiang He somewhere but don't remember where. The birthday girl went somewhere and they decided to leave the cake and start drinking. His friend was asking how much time they're living together and Zhu King tells him it's about a month or two. He again asked if they were just friends. Zhu King was thinking he should tell Jiang He the meaning of girlfriend because if he explains now in front of Wang Zi, she'll not think it good. It was too late. Wang Zi went out to call his girlfriend. Another friend of Zhu King was asking him how he finds such a pretty girlfriend and why can't he couldn't. Zhu King taunted him because he was ugly. Wang Zi, Lanjiang, and Zhu King were standing and mocking each other. Wang Zi talked to Lanjiang that he shouldn't provoke Zhu King, but he didn't accept. They were getting harsh. Everyone was thinking they were going to fight. The one who was the host and invited everyone tried to solve the matter and came to Lanjiang about why he is acting like a child. He also said Zhu King that he shouldn't invite him if he knew the relationship between him and Jiang He. Jiang He asked Zhu King why Lanjiang called her sister-in-law before. Zhu King changed the topic and said because he's ugly and I'm more handsome than him. He also talked that she is also pretty, so anyone who watches us together can think we are a couple. Jiang He argued that whom do people think a good match could mean they're married. Meanwhile, the birthday girl arrived, and his boyfriend rushed as it was time to cut the cake. The cake is huge and beautiful. Jiang He also looks at the cake and thinks all edible. Jiang He was taken aside by Zhu King and asked not to make any movement from there. Zhu King went to have a slice of cake for her, but his friends had a fight over the cake. Still, he took a slice and gave it to her. Jiang He said it's good in taste. Other boys were also enjoying cake and throwing it at each other. Jiang He was watching them and asked Zhu King because they are wasting such tasty food. He replies her he'll buy another cake like this just for her and they can enjoy eating it all alone at home. Everyone finished eating and Zhu King asked Jiang He to stop hiding and that they should head home now. Zhu King went to clean himself before going home, while Lanjiang came to her and called her sister-in-law, asking her why is he sitting alone and if she should start knowing about him more. He started forcing her that she should also enjoy and have fun just like others and also smashed some cake on her face. Zhu King came and he got furious at Lanjiang for his behavior with Jiang He and bashed him. Lanjiang also punched Zhu King's face and they both started fighting. Everyone present there also noticed their fight. Lights were turned on, and everyone tried to stop the fight and pulled them both back. The police also came there as they got a report of fighting. The policeman asked the two about what happened. Zhu King denied that they didn't fight, although his nose was bleeding. They again asked if there was any fight. Zhu King told the police that Jiang He is his cousin and came from the countryside. There was also a police officer, which was Zhu King's friend, who listened from his dad that Zhu King has a girlfriend, therefore he thought it was her. Zhu King made him clear that her name is Jiang He. They all were taken to the police station and asked to explain all. Lanjiang decided not to lose anything over Zhu King, so he told the police that they were joking around and Zhu King punched him. The policeman asked him to tell her all in detail. What kind of jokes they were having, what did he reply, and what sentence ignited the fight. The police also asked Zhu King to tell his side of the story and what happened. He told them that the beginning told by Lanjiang was wrong. Lanjiang insulted him and so he hit him. The police officer asked both how they want to settle the matter, but Lanjiang asked the police to arrest Zhu King or detain him. The police briefed him that they both fought with each other and that if they were to detain people, they'll detain both of them. After settlement, Lanjiang went back and Zhu King left behind. Police also asked him to go back as it was so late. His friend Quincy was also with them. They took a cab and went to their home. Zhu King lay in bed and he was so tired from today's event. Jiang He asked him what he told to police about her. Zhu King said that he made her cousin, a high schooler who went to celebrate a birthday. Jiang He was asking Zhu King why he hit him and he told that the man deserved a punch. He further explains that the maximum reaction you can show in anger is to punch him, not actually injure him, otherwise you are sent to jail. There are two kinds of people. One kind is those who act in a weird manner and other people who are bootlickers. She asked what's bootlicker, to which she was told a bootlicker is a person who deserves to die. Zhu King started feeling good about Jiang He and that he has at least someone with whom he can share his feelings. Jiang He took a shower and came out. Zhu King told her to blow dry her hair on her own today. Then Zhu King went for a shower. Jiang He wanted to cut her hair a little bit as she thought most girls here have short hair, but Zhu King loved his long hair. Zhu King helped him blow drying her hair and he said he'll do it from now. They went to sleep. Jiang He typed the text good night on his phone and listened to a song. The next morning, Jiang He started writing on her writing pad, and she searched for the meaning of girlfriend. Zhu King brought breakfast for Jiang He and he was searching for ghosts on the computer. They started eating what he brought. Jiang He was telling him that the food there is great, even the cake they had was also great. Zhu King asked about her birthday so he can arrange a huge cake for her, but she didn't know about her birthday. Then Zhu King thought they'll celebrate her birthday on the date on which she came here. Jiang He was happy about it. Zhu King asked him if she had any copper coins, as people of that time uses copper over silver pieces. If they had any copper coins, then they can be sold for money. But she didn't have it. She remembered she had some silver broken pieces for emergency use. Zhu King's friend, who's a civil servant, is at home. He asks his dad that Zhu King has a female cousin. He told his dad that he met a lady and Zhu King claimed he's his cousin. Jiang He was talking about the security guard Uncle Zhao, whom he thinks are Zhu King's girlfriend. But they sleep in different rooms and have their boundaries, so if their conscience is clear then it's fine. She asks him what normally girlfriends do. She'll avoid those things so that misunderstandings get cleared. He tells him girlfriends do shopping with their men, to which she argues that it's just for help. Zhu King was thinking that Jiang He's good point is that she always listens to him and never insists that something is fake, even though she has never seen or heard it before. In fact, she accepts the facts and investigates them. They saw a couple kissing on the road. Jiang He talked the people of this era are pretty liberal. He asked Jiang He if she saw anything like this in her era. Zhu King brought a birthday cake for her. He didn't have any idea of her age, so he took 18 candles roughly. They blew out candles and Zhu King asked her to make a wish, as it was her first birthday here, so her wish may come true. Jiang He found it a weird ceremony, but Zhu King tells her she get used to it. Zhu King taught him to slice the cake. She gave the first slice to him. The rest of the cake was all for Jiang He. She had it and found it delicious, just like she had tasted cream for the first time in her life. Zhu King offered her coke and they celebrated their meeting together. Jiang He took photos of her cake and stored the rest. Zhu King and Jiang He were discussing their eras and asks her if she was really from the Kai Yuan era and what he found different between her era and this one. She tells him that there was nothing man-made calamities in her era, but there were floods, plagues, and droughts everywhere. Zhu King sums up that her era can be considered both a good and bad time. She adds that food can be thrown around for pleasure in this era. People show off their thighs, even couples aren't afraid to get intimate out in the open. Zhu King told her he'll transfer some money to her wallet so she can shop for things that she wants on her own, and he'll teach her how to do shopping. Zhu King was thinking about Jiang He that her skills are not so relevant for this modern era. Even if she has multiple skills, it's a pity. Jiang He asked if she'll do his work. Zhu King asks her if he'll pay him 5 yuan per meal, but Jiang He didn't feel it was suitable. Jiang He is helping Zhu King with cooking. He was telling her this sugar is used for seasoning. She advises him not to use so much seasoning. The dish turned fragmented. They had cooked together something at home first time in these 2 months. Zhu King tried her food and it was delicious. They were having food on the table. Zhu King was joking that Jiang He's will be so famous that he'll be able to read it in history. Jiang He got an idea of growing fields, and Zhu King advised her to leave this unrealistic idea as it won't work. Zhu King didn't allow her and said she can live here like her own home and he'll take care of her just like he takes care of his cat. She praised him as a good guy. Zhu King asked her to call him young master. Zhu King guided her to make a new account where she can upload photos of the cake. He helped her register her account and set the password. He then taught her how to click photos. Jiang He was thinking that everything here exists just for the enjoyment of people, and it is not like in the past when people do anything just to survive. She felt that she looks much different than when she arrived here. Zhu King was drying her hair, so she suggested he keep his hair also long, as it'll look pretty nice, and then she can also help him blow dry his hair. Jiang He wondered if Zhu King was from his time, and how could he survive with weak skills and a big heart. She felt good that how things are now. Zhu King was watching her pictures and noticing that she was becoming a darling. Zhu King went to his mom and she asked about his girlfriend. He told that he came alone and Jiang He is at home. His mom was still thinking that they should consider themselves seriously and decide anything. She asked where Jiang He came. Zhu King told her that she has come here for work. His mom asks him to bring her here and she'll suggest to her that if they aren't compatible, they should break up. Zhu King's father came home and asked him if he was here to pay the rent. He tells him that he's here for a meal. They had dinner and Zhu King was thinking about Jiang He that she should have taken a meal and started playing a game. Zhu King saw a ginger plant in his mom's house and he asked to have some so he could grow in his home too. He thought about Jiang He and that she'll love growing this plant. Zhu King was leaving for home. He tells his mom that he was in love. His mom supports him that they're living together for days. Zhu King kept thinking about Jiang He, that he used to make a joke that she was his girlfriend and now he's in love. He thought that people have normal girlfriends, but his girlfriend is from 1,000 and 1,200 years ago. Jiang He just wanted to return to her home, but Zhu King tells her that she can't as her home is far away. Almost about 12 years away, which means all things familiar to her have become history. A young girl from the Tang dynasty, Jiang He, who traveled through time and space, appeared in front of a modern person, Zhu King. She adjusted to modern life with the help and care of Zhu King. She can easily draw a sword against Zhu King without hesitation. Unidentified shadows of a flying and disappearing person were found around the city at different places. Zhu King is busy teaching the ancient girl about common sense. He teaches him how fast this modern life is these days, as one can have shopping, watch movies on the computer, have lunch and dinner, and work, all in one day. After the struggles of Zhu King, there was a transformation in Tang Dynasty heroine, and Zhu King asks to thank him. There was raining outside. Zhu King entered in home and he got scared seeing the girl in the murderess look like a cosplayer. Zhu King serves food to his cat. His door knocks but no one is there. He opens the door, there's his neighbor Lei Feng. Zhu King asks him to go to her home as she was drenched, and offers her an umbrella. She tells him that she's the disciple of the Salt Gang and is ill, suffering from 8th grade syndrome, stuck in her cosplay. Zhu King decided to call security and see what was going on. While he was calling his uncle, she smashed her sword at the screen. Zhu King was wondering who is she and how could she just smash at someone's TV screen. Zhu King asks her to put down her sword and from where she belongs, to which she replies she belongs to the disciple of the Salt Gang. She tells him that she wanted to go home back to the Salt Gang. He remembered that this is a neighborhood of being a road in the Yongkang district of Zhongcheng City. Zhu King asked him about what year it is and she says it was the 16th year of Kaiyuan. She then named a famous poet of ancient times, but Zhu King knew that poet also. Zhu King's food came at his door and the delivery boy knocked, at which Jiang He took out her sword again but was asked to put it down as he was just a delivery boy and no one else. Zhu King offers him food and tells him it's a hamburger and she must see it for the first time, a cold drink, as she never had it before. She again put out his sword but Zhu King tells her that it was just carbonated water and not poisonous. Zhu King stopped her from taking out her sword every other moment. He had only 3 options to tackle that girl. The first one is he tricks her to go outside and leave her to freeze or starve to death, as he should mind his own business. The second option is to call the police and let them handle all. And the third option is to observe her in his home, an ancient girl in front of him in his house. Then he thinks it will be a mess if he calls the police, as they may think he's joking. So he decided to observe this 12-year-old ancient girl. Zhu King offers him food but she can't eat it as it was new for her. She didn't taste it before, and Zhu King understood her body can't take it, so he will make a bowl of rice for him. The girl asks him about Jiangcheng City and if he knows Lai Bai. Zhu King first asks her to put his sword down. The girl insisted to go her home. He tells him that she is far away from her home, some 12 years away. All names of the people she is talking about are emperor of history and they are all dead 1,000 years ago. She continues to deny all, but Zhu King further tells her that this world is completely new to her and everything he knew has become history now, and in this new world you can't move to have a weapon in your hand. After the girl had finished her food, Zhu King talked to her and explained to him the little things that she needs to understand. For example, this is a TV that produces music and good entertainment for people and has no link with a sword. The mobile is also safe to use. It's a peaceful world and anyone lives here with peace without harming others. He further adds that there's an identification card and it has a unique number that is assigned to everyone as soon they are born. If anyone commits a crime, then he can be captured by his ID card number. The police can investigate anyone without an ID card. Moreover, laws are very strict here. If you hurt someone, you will be caught by the officials, and the same will happen if you even wander holding sword like a weapon in the streets. Zhu King then thinks that it will be an issue as Jiang hasn't had an ID card, but still, he promises to help her. She asks him what can she do now, and where is his wife. He tells her that he's unmarried, but it's normal here for a man and woman to live, as he'll give her a separate room to sleep in. He opens his store, which was a little messy, but cleans for her and asks her to rest. Zhu King wakes up at 10 in the morning, asks Jiang He about food. She gives him some silver stones as it can be valuable for him. He gives it back and tells him that he'll buy some necessities for her. He went outside and buys some clothes which he like. Zhu King is back at the home. As he entered, the girl again put the sword and Zhu King asked her to stop and they had their food. He told her that he has bought some basic things for her, and she should say thank you as it's a basic manner. He also bought a pair of shoes, clothes, books, and some women's stuff and asked her to watch a video on how to use the. Zhu King thought he should teach Jiang He how to use a computer so she can easily learn everything. Jiang He asks him about his status and background, at which he tells him that he is from a poor background and is a graduate student who is still unemployed. Jiang He was curious how she came here, at which she said that she was running after a thief in rain and there she saw this house. The girl further asks him about his skills and his martial arts, how powerful is he, and how high he can jump. Zhu King wanted to learn some kung fu and asks her are those moves strict and can he learn some martial arts. She tells him that he is too old enough to learn martial arts as it's slow training from an early age, but he can start training from the waist first. She advises him to first practice stakes for at least 3 years and then learn martial arts to become powerful. Jiang He tried new clothes which Zhu King bought for him, and all dresses fit well. Zhu King tells him he'll also buy a hairband for her messy hair too, as nobody has hair like this here. Zhu King is using a computer in his room. Jiang He entered and asks him what is he doing. He explains that it's a computer and it can be used as seeing things from miles away, for listening to the news, and for entertainment by sitting in a room. Zhu King played some fictional films of martial arts on a computer. Jiang He asked him if it was all that real, at which he tells her that these are just created for fiction and are edited with backdrops depicting ancient times. He tells her that once she is more acquainted with this world, she'll be able to better understand. Zhu King showed her another technique and asks her if she can do it. It was like moving quickly your arms around and it seems like a blurry movement. She stood up and moved her arms the same as that in the play, and Zhu King was impressed to see her movement. She asked him to let her know whenever he wanted to learn martial arts from her. She'll teach everything to Zhu King. Zhu King then switched off the computer and was so tired that he went for a nap. And when he woke up, picked up his phone and noticed it's 6:45 p.m., he then realizes he slept for so long. Zhu King was taking Jiang He outside with him and advised her not to speak unless necessary, as he'll answer all his questions once they were back home. He further asks her not to make any movement and have a smile on her face and walk normally, putting down her sword. They started walking on the road. Zhu King tells him that this is the district and all residents live in buildings there, and there are shops along the roads. Meanwhile, a neighbored auntie met Zhu King and she asked him about the lady beside him and thought she is his girlfriend. Zhu King tells her that they were just friends. That auntie identified Jiang He. She was with a sword yesterday in the streets. Zhu King covered up that it was cosplay in which everyone is in some character and pretends as someone else. And then they leave. They both discuss that auntie had a small glance at her yesterday so they didn't catch an problem. If it were any security guard who noticed anyone with the sword, he must have stopped her and investigated. It could trouble her more. Jiang He sees a car on road and was wondering, so Zhu King tells him that it's a car having 4 leaves and is used to travel goods or people, just like a horse pulling carriage. Jiang He started picking his stones and started throwing them outside the road, and Zhu King stopped her. Food. People come here and enjoy their meal. He also comes here often and grew up eating there. Food was served to them and Zhu King started eating, while Jiang He found it difficult to eat with chopsticks as everything was new for her and she just stared at the people around and meal. Zhu King ate to his full and they went back home. Zhu King talks that if they can sort out the identity issue then she can live more freely here. But Jiang He was sad and wanted to go home, which Zhu King tells her he can't, and started thinking to resolve the identity issue. Jiang He asks Zhu King what if she can't get an identity card. He tells him that without an identity card, she won't have any right to food, live, and clothes and claim any property. She even can't go to any hotel, not even rent any place, apartment, and can't travel. If she sticks in an emergency and she tries to call officials for help, then they would also ask about his ID card, and without that she is even considered a suspect. She can't do any job anywhere or study, as they'll also ask for her identity. Then the girl was depressed and asks him that is she bothering him by living there. Zhu King then started thinking about what he can do to resolve this issue and remembered his old friend and texted his best friend, who is a government official and civil servant. Zhu King asked him to take time for a meeting as he wants to discuss something. Zhu King took shower and changed his clothes, and kept thinking about her. Jiang He also had a shower and was in good mood. Zhu King went to meet his friend after ordering food for her and then received and served it to Jiang He. Zhu King asked her to learn a writing pad and use a computer and to become used to it, so she can contact him if he was outside and they'll get in touch. Zhu King met his friend at the cafe. His friend ordered food for him. Zhu King asked about his job and he told him about the troubles he had to face. He also told that he sees quarrels and fights daily. Zhu King then memorized his days of struggles and how he got this chance to become a police officer after his mates had height issues and he cleared all and got this position. They also remembered their old friend who was rejected because he couldn't fulfill the requirements for this position. After then, Zhu King asks him about the matter that if somebody has lost his memories and everything, then can he get a new ID card? His friend replies that there's no way he can get it and he'll be an unregistered citizen. He further asks him that if someone with no identity comes into investigation, then how you deal with them. He was told that they'll release him after having some questions. Zhu King pays the bill, which was 128 yuan in total, and then the waiter told him that they had a promotional deal for every 100 yuan. You can get 50 skewers free. He thought about Jiang He and orders to pack 50 skewers for her. Zhu King sees off his friend and went home where Jiang He is found asleep. Zhu King was standing near her and was staring at him continuously as she was sleeping. He must have some feelings for her. Jiang He woke up and looked at him where he gives him food that he got from the cafe and said he must be hungry as she just had a meal in the morning. She thanked him. Zhu King couldn't believe his ears as he listened to many thanks from her. Jiang He tasted yogurt and skewers and she found it tasty. Zhu King started feeling good having someone at home waiting for him and it felt lively. Jiang He also felt happy as she can take shower daily and have a friend like Zhu King. Zhu King woke up the next morning and went outside. People were asking Zhu King if he noticed something weird at night because something was scaring their dogs too, as his dog saw a shadow last midnight, after which he got scared, so there was something fishy in town. They were saying there was some ghost as CCTV also captured it. They headed to watch the CCTV recording where Zhu King noticed that it was Jiang He. The security guard told people that he'll notice every moment from now onwards. Zhu King entered the home and scolded her that she had been sneaking at midnight. She was shocked that how he knew. Then he tells him that the whole freaking society thinks of her as a ghost. He also confirms that she sneaks wearing a black dress at midnight. Jiang He got scared and asked if it's dangerous. Then Zhu King advises her that she has to tell him whatever she needed and doesn't need to go anywhere alone. Zhu King then took his clothes and explained to her about the washing machine. As the name shows, it's used to wash clothes. Zhu King found something weird about her feet and asked her to show her feet. He was also sure that she didn't try those undergarments which he bought that day because she thought that is used for Thai feet. Zhu King got irritated and found it ridiculous. Then, he gave him examples of an ancient lady who was beautiful in her waist, teeth, skin, and everything. On the other hand, Deng Tuzai's wife had messy hair, misaligned ears, rough lips, and missing teeth. Still, her husband loves her so much that they had actually 5 kids. Zhu King decided to be Deng Tuzai personified from now on, and had nothing else to offer except for his body, heart, and soul. Zhu King then shows him a tutorial on how to use undergarments so that she can wear this, and clothes shouldn't go waste, but she was still finding it immoral. Zhu King debated she didn't see other women wearing such comfortable clothes in the street. After this debate, Zhu King asked her to learn some games on the computer in order to keep her busy, otherwise she'll start thinking about going on her night adventure and practicing martial arts. She then asked her to teach some Diju games too. Jiang He is playing games while Zhu King was free and thinking to take a nap. It was dinner time and they decided to go to the east side of the district for dinner today. Zhu King suggested she change his hairstyle with a new dress and have her hair down as she had been tying it up for days. Also, it will make her less likely to recognize people. Jiang He changed her dress and showed it to Jiang He while he asked him to change back as the current outfit is too conspicuous. They both then went outside. Uncle Zhao, the security guard, mocked Zhu King that he is taking his girlfriend for an outing, to which he gave the same reply that they are just friends. After walking for some time, she asks him what his girlfriend means, at which he pretends a girlfriend is a friend. Then why he kept denying she's not his girlfriend but a friend, thought Jiang He. They stopped at a nearby place, which Jiang He found very peaceful. Zhu King ordered a cup of boba tea and a cup of kumquat lemon. She tried boba tea for the first time and found it weird as boba was hard to chew. Zhu King's drink was sour. Jiang He took one sip and found it delicious, so he offered his cup. Jiang He asked him if she can earn like all people here, but Zhu King reminds her that she'll need an ID card for this. After drinking tea, they were full, so decided to walk for some time. Zhu King wanted to take him to a nice place, so they boarded the train. Jiang He found the travel by train more exciting and interesting because she had just sat in a horse-drawn carriage before. After reaching Lanjiang, they came off the train. It's called the modern-day city night view, and what a soothing view it was. They started talking about Jiang He history of 12 years back. Jiang He started thinking about her past and was sad to think what will happen next to her then. Zhu King motivates her that although her identity issue is yet to be resolved, there'll be some way to stay here, as there's nothing that humans can't do. So, staying here isn't a bad option. He also promises her to travel by plane once she gets her ID card, so she can also experience the skies and enjoy the life of this world 1,200 years later. The police mobiles were wandering in the city after midnight for that ghost, and Zhu King thought not to move her out at night but in the morning. Jiang He was talking Zhu King that she wants to go outside and explore, as she thinks all people here are prisons, but he tells him that it's all everyone's choice whether live in a home like a landlord or go outside and earn. Zhu King told her that he'll give her money, but what will she do without him? How will she buy clothes, take food, and all that? Also, if they keep doing all this without earning some income, money will eventually run dry. After all discussion, Jiang He accepts that without an ID card, she can do nothing. But at least, she now knew how to get the ticket for the bus and take food for the money. Zhu King was trying to teach him a new game, but Jiang He wanted to earn money just like him, by watching videos or anything. Zhu King says that the method is so complicated for her for now. The door knocks. Someone from Zhu King's family was there, and he asked Jiang He to hide in the room. His dad was outside, who was a landlord but still take rent from his son in whom Zhu King lives. After entering, the first question his father asked was about his job. He taunted his son for being unemployed and he didn't find a job yet, even though he is graduated now. He asked him to find a job quickly, otherwise he'll raise the rent of the house, at which Zhu King tells his father that there was some ghost reported, so he should lower the rent even. His dad was leaving almost, and he saw some women's dresses and he misunderstood that Zhu King started cross-dressing. Zhu King's father asked him about the female dresses found in his house, and he was scared that if he doesn't tell his father the truth, then his neighbors or the auntie will tell him that he was hanging out with a girl. He then told his father that his friend's sister is staying temporarily for a few days and also introduced her to his father. She greeted his father and asked Zhu King what to call his father, as she almost called him dad, at which he whispered uncle. His father called Zhu King separately and asked him if she was his girlfriend. Zhu King denied it and scolded him for not having a job. Zhu King reminded his father of his wish of becoming a YouTuber, but he didn't listen. Zhu King transferred 238 yuan into his father's account as rent and asked him to leave the spare key there. He told his son that his mom is calling him for a meal and he agreed to visit whenever he'll free. He then shows his father Jiang He's pair of shoes and asked him how much he can sell this old antique pair. Father got weird and went back. Zhu King's father got offended and misunderstood him that he is making him a fool by saying these shoes are antique, and he picked Jiang He's sword unintentionally. Zhu King thought this sword must be safe as it belongs to Jiang He, so he told his father that it was a toy bought himself. His dad advises him to stop all this nonsense and find a job or apply for civil servant and dedicate his efforts towards serving the people of the country. Zhu King asked Jiang He to stop hiding and come out and keep the sword safe. He then explained to her that she should call his father uncle and that if someday she met his mom, she should call her auntie. Jiang He reminded him if he wants to practice martial arts or not, at which he asks him if there was any quick way to learn martial arts because he seems no advantage in learning martial arts at all. They then stopped discussing martial arts and started playing games. She asked him how she can make money by playing games, then he says that there are thousands of people who don't have time to play, so they give money to people like you and me who have time and we play for them. It's a random day at the police station. Warriors are hungry, so they ordered food from McDonald's and were getting bored. They had a call from a man, so they reached there at house no. 14, floor 6. There was a drunk man lying outside a house, saying to the police that they are late as he was waiting for them, and asked them to say his wife to open the door. Police officials knocked on the door and they told they got a call from here, so asked to cooperate and open the door. His wife came out and the police asked her if she made the call. The young man told them that he made a call because his wife locks him outside the house and didn't let him in. His wife tells police that she did it multiple times because her husband had a bundle of beer every day. Police scolded that man and they went back. King woke up by the noise outside. He thought people are trying to search for that midnight act. Suddenly a man jumped up into their house. King asked, "Who is he?" Jiang He captured him and bashed him. King stopped her as she'll gonna kill him. Jiang He bumped into that man and he still had clear marks on his arms. King was going to call the police, but he apologized and said he'll never dare to do it again as he was well beaten up. King says he deserves to be beaten as he came here to steal. He told them that it was his first time and he won't do it again. King didn't get agree and called his police friend thinking if he was serious police will take him to the hospital. The man begs him and tells him his injury is from his past accident and nothing else. They allowed him to go back just the way he came from the window. King thought he'll repair the broken window and went to sleep. King woke up and freshened up, while Jiang He also woke up and practiced her martial arts. King asked her to keep the window open next time while practicing so he could see her. They then went outside for breakfast and also had to find someone to fix the window. King was telling Jiang He that she can't beat someone so badly as she did yesterday, no matter how bad intentions he had. They went to eat, ordered their meal, and food was served to them. Jiang He found it tasty, while King was thinking that no one can have any idea this girl is from ancient times. Jiang He was still feeling hungry, so he asked him to order more buns. Jiang He asked if the buns were costly, then she was told that it not in fact out of all meal, breakfast is least costly. King was feeling better by bringing her outside and letting her experience life. She ordered 10 more buns but King told her to have 15 more for takeaway. King realizes ancient people used to eat more and suggests she eat normal food while sitting outside and have some food to continue eating at home. They paid the bill and were walking back. He told her he'll bring her to the buffet and that'll be a good experience for her. She wasn't familiar with the buffet, so he told him it's basically a place where you pay some money and eat a variety of meals having meat and vegetables, anything you like. Through this idea, the restaurant owners take advantage of people who have a small appetite. King gives her a phone so she can call him if anything happens. He then went outside and told her to have dinner and no need to wait for him. He asked him to play games in her spare time and explore her new phone. King went to his home and asked his dad about where is his mom. He told him she was playing mahjong. His father asked about his girlfriend and he told the same that she isn't his girlfriend. He called his mom and told his mom he's arrived. His mom asked him why he didn't tell her ahead of time. He tells her he mentioned it in the group chat. She agreed that she must have forgotten about it. She went to cook dinner and was asking about his girlfriend, but he again denies it and tells she was just his friend. His mom asked him to show her some photos of Jiang He. He pretended that Jiang He has one nose and 2 eyes, so what was there to see? But he knew he can't escape, so showed her a picture. Her mom found her pretty and asked to have a closer look. King's mother analyzed that she is her friend and still living in his house for days, and that girl also living there, so in short, they both are interested in each other. Moreover, she was saying Jiang He is young and 18 and asked how they both met as she's not from this city. King then headed back and advised his mom not to play mahjong all day. They also talked about the ghost issue and his mom thought his expenses must have been raised due to his girlfriend. King is back and saw Jiang He with a sword after entering. She took the sword and went to take shower. King asked her why is she taking the sword with her, and if anything happened after he left. She said no and took shower and dried her hair. King complimented that practicing martial arts make one look prettier. She told him when will he start learning martial arts. Jiang He was accustomed to using a new dryer, so he dried her hair. King again asked her why she was hugging the sword, and she told she was scared of ghosts, at which he consoles her there was nothing like a ghost, but she insisted she saw one. She saw a ghost when King was gone. Jiang He was telling him she saw a ghost with long hair and a face that was ghastly pale and super white, wearing a blue dress with long sleeves. He said he'll borrow Uncle Zhao's sword, which might hurt the ghost. She thanked him and went to sleep. Jiang He was taking out her clothes and thinking these clothes are bought by him and fit according to her standards, unlike clothes she saw wearing other girls on the streets. She imagined him as a good guy. The door knocks. King came in and showed him the laptop screen and asked her if she the ghost. She replied it was the one. Then King remembered it was the film he was watching and left halfway. King woke up and said good morning to Jiang He. She was already awake. King asked him to get ready to head out for breakfast. She also told him that the phone he gave him had broken as it was not responding. Zhu King tells her it must run out of battery. He'll get her a power bank later. It was the weekend, so Zhu King asked her to rest, not play games, and learn how to use the phone, how to send voice messages or call on WeChat. His WeChat wallet balance was 0, so he transferred some money to his account and asked him to press confirm button. Zhu King's friend who was in the police entered his home, and his father asked him whether he caught any thief or the one who bumped into Zhu King's house. His friend didn't have any idea about it, so he screwed up and tried to contact Zhu King because he wanted to do meaningful things as a police officer. But he couldn't. His dad told him that the thief was released by Zhu King and his girlfriend. Zhu King had a call from his friend for a meetup. He told about Jiang He by saying that his friend from the countryside will also come. Jiang He was offered a cold drink by him, and she asked where he was taking her up. She also asked that he won't get money by taking him, so is he taking him only for psychological needs? Zhu King even didn't know the answer. They went out, and Zhu King told her that there are lots of people there, and she can eat or drink anything except alcohol. They reached their destination. Zhu King's all friends were already there, and they were playing cards and having fun while drinking. They both also sit beside them, but Jiang He was getting confused. There was so much noise at that place. Zhu King offered Jiang He some seeds and snacks, but she couldn't listen to what he is talking. He gives him a cracked nut to try, and Jiang He found one delicious. Zhu King's friend opens up the bottle and invited him to share a drink with him. They cheered the drink. Jiang He was seeing them drinking, so she also wished to drink it, but Zhu King advises him not to drink as girls should not drink alcohol. But she insisted she wanted to taste a sip, just one sip. Zhu King gave her, and she drank it but didn't find it good. Zhu King's friend was staring at them, and he asked if she was his friend. Zhu King told him that she was his friend from the countryside. He introduced his friend Wang Zijin to Jiang He. His friend also wanted to talk to Jiang He and wanted to be her friend just like Zhu King, but he stopped him. He insisted that he was taller, richer, and whatnot, but still Zhu King didn't agree. Jiang He was hungry, so they set aside, and Zhu King offered him more nuts.